Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So, welcome back here to American Truck Simulator. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to take this run from Vernal to Cheyenne, taking this anhydrous ammonia, just getting a hazmat run, but getting a good setup going here. Alright, so here we are. A big Chevron tanker. So, pretty big load there. Looks like I don't know that I'd say it's a newer Freightliner, but we'll get this. We can't turn it off, so it is what it is there. But we're going to need to come around. I think if I go underneath here and then head out, that'll work. So, a little under 400 miles, but just trying to get a good amount of money, but did take a peek in between here because we're getting up there, but I'm still a ways away from realistically being able to do what I'd like, because if I want to own a tanker, I need to get to level 11, and we're on level 8 here. Alright, we'll turn left like it said. It doesn't really matter. Either way it'll get us there, but this is probably a little bit straighter. So the other thing I'm going to need to do is I don't have anything discovered as far as truck dealers. So my problem is right now all I could buy is a Kenworth. So I need to probably focus a bit on making sure that when I see truck dealers, I discover them so that I have options, at least a few different manufacturers to purchase something. Because really, I just have the truck dealer in Salt Lake, and right now I could buy a day cab, and I would have just enough to buy like just the basic day cab that they sell is $116,000. So really don't quite have enough, but that's why if I can start packing on the cash plus getting things that will move me along a little faster with experience, I can get to the point of finally starting out, and maybe I can't have the best truck because I need to get to almost level 30 before I can really pick the full set of tractors of any manufacturer. So hopefully that'll work. Last thing they want to do is probably run into a tanker. But yeah, and then the tankers are like 57,000 or something. So and the challenge is really going to be, can I keep myself busy? And if I'm doing something smaller, maybe it won't be a day cab, but might still be something a little bit tinier. Will I be able to keep myself busy and run things, or will I be running back empty and kind of deadheading on the way back with nothing? So, pretty nice mountains out here. Alright, ran over some of those rocks, but that's alright. So, I think since the last time we were together, SCS has gone ahead and given us an answer to the teaser they sent, and the next announced state is Arkansas. And as always, ridiculous discussions happening, arguing with folks about, now we're in the position, of course, where people are like, why are they even bothering? Nobody cares about the states in the center. The only states that matter are the coasts, and this and that, and just foolishness to no end. But hey, we've kind of come to expect that. Now there are some legitimate questions, I suppose, because Louisiana also touches in that location. It's further south, but Oklahoma touches Arkansas. Didn't it tell me to go right? I am so confused. Oh, well, this is good. We'll go discover the Peterbilt. So, indirectly, this will work out. So, ooh, I want to make this. It's going to be tight. Alright, we did it. Speeding, I'm sure, but we did it. So, but Louisiana was kind of straight south. They did Arkansas. They haven't continued up into the Dakotas, so it is interesting in that regard. So we'll see how things go. I'm assuming one of the teams that are doing, Kansas and that may be what the plan is they've got a team doing Kansas, they've got a team doing Nebraska, now they've got a team working on Arkansas. And so what may happen is Kansas and Nebraska get delivered. Maybe one of those teams gets put on what we're all hoping for, which is a 2-state pack of just doing both of the Dakotas together. And then the other team could go on Louisiana. That would be really pretty cool if that would be how it pans out. Alright, I was going to say, is it going to discover? So we got Peterbilt, which is not really a brand I want, but that's okay. Alright, so let's see what we see. So this is a really long trailer. I keep making really bad turns with it, so I'm just trying to be more aware of what's happening. I do remember the weird little dinosaur statues here in Vernal, so I don't know. I'm assuming they found dinosaur bones, because it's dinosaur land, it looks like it said there. And there's some more dinosaurs over there. So it might be the Natural History Museum. There's dinosaurs off to the right. There's just lots of dinosaurs. So clearly this looks like a military museum, obviously. Alright. Nobody coming, so we can head out here. I can swing nice and wide because there's nobody on the road. And then we can safely continue on the way we should have gone, but again, at least we've gotten one additional dealership, so that gives us some options. Now the Peterbilt is the truck that I tended to provide to my drivers that I hired, so that is a good thing. So at least that sets me up if I want to continue that trend. But we are now heading off into the kind of mesa area, things like that of you. They're not total mesas, I suppose, because usually mesas are a little more flat on top. But it's typical what you'd see out west here and so forth. Definitely, I know there's a lot of curving road here. We'll see how things pan out. It looks like we might have to slow down. Oh yeah, this is 45. We definitely don't want to take this too fast and have a problem. And we're climbing a bit, which I assume is partially why it's running me over this way, because we do have kind of that double lane, which is used to put trucks in the slower lane to climb, but it's ending here, so that would make you think then that we've climbed and now we're going to flatten out in a little bit here. Now it doesn't seem like that's what's happening. It seems like I'm climbing a bit more because it's certainly a bit slow here. Alright, and a nice tight hairpin at 25. I can probably hit it at 35. That'll probably be okay. Throw the cruise back on because then we should be able to speed up. But this is Route 191. Now this is telling me, what, 6 hours, so we'll get there after dinner time, assuming everything works according to plan. But yeah, at this point I'm just, I'm not specifically trying to explore a given area. I'm just, taking advantage of the fact that as a contractor I can hop around a little bit, and that way we'll get some good jobs to make some progress. And I don't remember if I'm right near level 9, because I'd like to get my hazmat kind of full out. Because the other thing I can do, I know there are hazmats that take different kinds of trailers. So, we'll also have to see how that all works out. Alright, I gotta be careful because I'm gonna get a speeding ticket here if I'm not careful. And maybe it's because of the bridge. I don't know quite why it's only 40, but it is. Oh, now it's even slower. It's going to be 30. So this is Flaming Gorge Dam. Well, we've got a viewpoint here. We haven't done those. That was tricking me a bit. I think I've done this viewpoint before. In other things, I just obviously haven't done it here in this profile. And we don't have a lot of speed that we need to go through, so maybe we'll go ahead and we'll take that little diversion. I like the view and the bridge here, that's for sure, and at least we're here in the daytime when we can enjoy this. I'm just a little worried about what my turnaround will be like. It looks like the parking lot's pretty large there. So we'll go ahead. Looks like, what is it, river access. So we'll head on through here and hopefully we won't have any issues. But kind of going down, and then I'm sure we'll just look over the dam and everything else. But yeah, there's some room here. So yeah, you can see the dam straight ahead of us. There's the road. You can see a truck going along. It's pretty sweet. So there we go, the Flaming Gorge Dam. Icy road, obviously in the winter. Pretty good rendering of the rock surface there. Looks pretty good. No, there aren't a lot of, there aren't any major spill gates. The one thing this certainly makes me wonder is, with all the challenges we've been having in the US lately with water and so forth, I wonder if this is an area where the water levels have decreased substantially like they did in Lake Mead and things like that. I think Lake Mead's near this area somewhere in Utah, Nevada. So, yeah, this is the bridge. It's got that crane that will kind of go out, and I'm assuming that's if they're working on the dam, that allows them to roll that out and then extend over the edge of the road and do some work that they need to do there. So you've got some roads down there near the edge of the river down in the valley, but I don't think we can get to that. So they've got like a little walkway there that you can go out on that outcropping and take a look. Obviously, since we're not allowed in ATS to get out, we can't actually take a look, but we can think about it and pretend. Alright, so this was at least nice enough to not be too difficult to get in and turn around. You know, we got that extra discovery of the roadway as well. So let's get back up here to the main road.
Turn right.
Because I don't want to get myself too late and then not be able to see what's happening. Because we definitely have some moving around. I think once we get up into Wyoming in certain areas, we will have interstate that we'll be back on, and we'll be able to make some pretty good time at that point. But right now, obviously just making our way through, not really the back roads. I mean, this is obviously still a major U.S. route and so forth, but you know, there aren't a lot of individual roads put in or anything like that. So we're only going 37, so I'm not too worried about being able to make the turn. And now we're up to 65, so I'll be able to max this out here. Alright, but now, you know, even if we're not on the interstate at this point, then we're moving at maximum speed that we're allowed to transport things. But yeah, no specific announcements of exactly when something will release, but once again, like Kansas, Nebraska, Arkansas now, it's been relatively soon that all of these have been announced, so I guess I don't know that I'm expecting another state to release before the end of 2023. It might happen, but I'm just not sure that it will. So, you know, I mean, they definitely put, you know, they put a new, I think it was water bodies teaser on Kansas out there to talk about the water bodies and so forth. So they definitely are doing a much better job than when I first started playing ATS, which was back in the days, I think it was right after Colorado was released. So I think I was able to get that pretty quickly. I gotta be careful here. Yeah, this is weaving around a bit much. I'd like to keep moving, but this is just not really safe, and then I'm gonna just end up crashing and just gonna cost me money. So let me do what I need to do this relatively safely. Because again, at some point we'll be off of this road and we'll be able to move along. But yeah, we gotta slow down to 40 here. Looks like there's some deer. Looks like we're heading into some weather too. That could make things interesting, especially since once again I'm trying to remember what the button is for the windshield wipers, but maybe we'll get by without a rainstorm. A little bit of a hiccup there, but hopefully it doesn't, it's not foreboding of something. I don't know that I've had the games crashing at this point. Again, I don't have map mods or anything running. That usually tends to be more the culprits. I think all the other mods, the real companies and traffic packs and all that, I think are just probably smaller in general and less complexity. So I think they work pretty well. But yeah, we're coming up here. Now is that a Kenworth? So I don't need another Kenworth dealer, so not worried about that one. So we're not going to detour and discover that because it's not needed.
Go straight.
I will do that, thank you. But we should be getting to the point where we're going to have joining the interstate, I'm sure. That's right there. Yep, Interstate 80. been on that often, not in this area, but definitely an interstate that
Go straight.
very
and then keep
familiar
right.
with. Okay, so probably
Keep right.
there we
And
go.
then turn right.
All right,
Turn right.
Muffin Mondays at Annie's. All right, got a Walmart up there. So again, we'll keep an eye out if we see
Left.
truck dealers or anything. I might pull off, go find them, because it'd be nice to have all the makes available and kind of make a decision on what we're going to start out with and get going, and maybe we'll build our fleet in a kind of piecemeal way. It's obviously easier since I'm not doing any economy mod, so you can kind of make money a little crazily here. Obviously, again, a $20,000 job for 8 hours is not what a trucker normally is doing. So it's definitely the ATS economy. But we're just, again, enjoying what SCS has created for us in the basic DLCs. So hence the Back to Basics series here. Nothing fancy, just American Truck Simulator in its base form. Alright, Cheyenne's still 234 miles away. So we are going kind of across most of Wyoming here. I'm slowed down a little bit because I was winding around. So out at west here again, dualies and triples are allowed. I guess dualies are more a term we use for pickups. I guess they're probably just duals and triples. If for some reason I wanted to start doing those as trailers, those are available, but those are like the last things you unlock, and I think you got to be like level 19 or something. So the trailers don't require as high of a level as some of the fancier or newer tractors do. Let's see, can I do anything? I don't think this display has anything terribly interesting. I think this is the one I always kind of used. I don't know, I'm not even sure, because there's just really nothing that has like the trip meter. I think there's probably a trip meter screen, but this one's just giving me the speed. The truck's almost coming up on 500,000 miles. And that's certainly one thing. I mean, probably across the gameplay I've done in ATS, I've gotten into several 100,000. I don't think I'm at 500,000 miles yet. I know I'm certainly not in my VTC, but then again, a lot of things I do, like everything I'm doing in ETS, I can't do in the VTC because I've got a economy mod. So, but just hanging on to a truck long enough to get it to that point is not something I have done, because that would be quite an accomplishment. I don't even know how long that would take. Ooh, well, I got work on the other side. Luckily, it's not affecting us here. Alright, so this is what? Just a road, so no dealership or anything here. It's just Johnson Road. Just an opportunity if we had to pull over or anything, but we're doing just fine, which is kind of the norm that we'd expect being a contract driver.
Keep left.
Alright. Roots and Boots. Interesting. And Carbon Express. That's a new one. Alright. So I saw we were down at like 150 something. Alright, Rollins discovered. So again, nice to get another city. I'm kind of keeping an eye out over there to see if there's any dealership. I probably have to look at the map here to tell. Doesn't look like, I mean, again, I'm not going to drive way out or anything. So yeah, it doesn't, yeah, that's the Kenworth we saw. So nothing there. Just hop back in and keep moving. About 2.5 hours away from our delivery point at this point is what the ETA is giving me. So might be setting. There's like a B or a P, or maybe it's an R for Rollins up there on the hill to the right. Alright, so along with being I-80, this is also Route 30, US Route 30. So pretty common to have multiple routes kind of share the surface at times. So obviously it makes no sense to like just put another road next to it, to be like, hey, I'm not sharing the road or anything. Happy holidays times 20. Chicken nuggets, McDonald's. Very exciting. Alright, definitely an interesting interchange here. Alright, exit 215. I think they're going up at this point, so this doesn't really help. But there we go. Oh, Cheyenne's still 124, so we're still over 100 away. But over the train tracks there, and then we'll just continue on in parallel to the surface road there that goes in from town. Again, a pretty normal setup here, especially when you got all this room out here. So the gas station with the dinosaurs is called Sinclair. I've always wondered if somehow this has got something to do with that, if that's what's out here, but no real reason to think that is what it is, because it looks pretty barren out here. So these gates here are common. If sometimes the interstates get closed because of the weather, usually blizzards and whiteout conditions and things like that. So that's where it was talking about, if it's blinking, everybody needs to exit. So you'll run into that sometimes. Alright, it is... Oh, I think I'm running into the... whatchamacallit, the adjustable cruise control, because it slowed me down to 53 there, and I don't think it was because of anything other than coming up on traffic, so hopefully we can speed up pretty quickly and this guy won't cut us off. But we get a little bit of a run together here. Climbing is the problem, so I'm not accelerating. Come on. Alright. I was just worried he was going to get brave and, like, cut me off. They're usually not that aggressive, but I just really put nothing past the AI, because it does have some issues, that's for sure. Alright, so another big truck stop. I don't think... Let's take a look. It is Laramie. What have we got? Doesn't look like we have any kind of truck dealer, so I think we're okay. Yeah, it looks like we'll be going by something in Cheyenne, so we'll definitely divert there if we're not going by it, and get a discovery there. In Cheyenne, I would certainly expect a dealership, because that is a major city in Wyoming. I'm trying to remember. I think it's the capital, but I could be wrong. I used to know them all. You know, we're kind of required in the U.S. to memorize all the state capitals. At one point, I think I had to memorize most of the world capitals, at least like South America and all that. Came in handy recently. I was doing some trivia thing on YouTube, and I had to name the capital of Uruguay, and I knew it was Montevideo, so got me a point. So sometimes that knowledge comes in handy, but usually it's just for stuff like that. Unless you're traveling there, that would really be the only other time that it would matter. Alright, an hour and a half, so maybe by 8 o'clock we'll be there. Again, I gotta stop running up on traffic. I'm like creating my own problem. I got down to 48, for goodness sakes. So yeah, I need to be a little bit more aware of what's going on, because I'm actually really affecting my time, because this was where I was confused. I'm like, I thought I was going to be there at 7:30, and the reason I'm not is because I keep having stuff like that happen. So definitely kind of, I guess, makes you have to drive a little bit differently with that adaptive cruise control, because it'll react to things that normally you'd just come up on traffic and be like, oh, I'm going really quick, I need to pass, and instead it slows down. Alright, so another one of the interchanges of interest that we've seen. So yeah, 316 now, so mileage is definitely going up, but as you can see, Wyoming's not a small state, 316 miles, so okay, we'll move here. Of course, he's slowing down. Oh, so bit of an accident there. So he can do his thing, but I'm just gonna go on by because I'm in the far lane. I don't really have any kind of danger there. Alright, so they are climbing. So we've got that third lane. Hopefully we won't slow down too much. Alright, we're down to 50 miles. So getting pretty close. A couple rest areas. But we've still got 6 hours till our hours of service are up. So I wouldn't expect to run into a problem until I'm doing my own hauls, and obviously then not having the rest in between. There's some statue over to the left. It looks like Abe Lincoln's bust up there. So one of the presidents, well, the president during the Civil War, but I'm not sure what the connection is to Wyoming that they'd have something like that out here, but it's interesting. I'm gonna move over. Looks like he's just pulled someone over, but don't need him getting out and opening the door, which I don't think they do in the game, but you just never know. Round a top road. So we've got a refinery over there. Cheyenne's the next 4 exits, but I think this one's going chevron to chevron, so we're probably going to be parking within a refinery or something, so that could be challenging, especially again not leaving the cab, trying to stick with what I've been doing in this series, which is stay in cab for the parking and try to make it work. Making things take a little bit longer sometimes, but it's definitely an enjoyable challenge for, whoops, of course. Why wouldn't we have the road closed and turn it into who knows what? Alright, well, hopefully we just go to the exit and then get on, although it looks like they have that road blocked too, so I don't know. I wonder if we can, no, they have that exit blocked too, so lovely. The whole thing is blocked, so how do I get there?
Keep right, and then exit.
Alright, well, I'm gonna have to plan a route, because, so I think I'm gonna have to go this way, so I'll just go right and then because if I go there, it won't let me back on. So we'll get up here and we'll turn left, and we'll just go around that corner road there. But let's see, now it's telling me half an hour, because it's 20 miles, so it doesn't look like it did too terrible of a addition in distance. But again, going in local roads, we're probably going to have more lights and things like that. Wow. This is not an easy entrance, that's for sure. Well, hopefully we can make it through. Alright, that is good, because now at least maybe we'll be in good shape there.
Go straight.
Alright, telling me 10 miles. Try to get over the railroad crossing here. Alright,
Right.
so we got a Texaco. Alright, they are turning to the left, so that empties the road up for me. We're now in Cheyenne. Over 500,000 people here, and I'm not sure how many, what the population of Wyoming is. I know it's not that large, so I would guess Cheyenne's probably got the majority of the folks in the state concentrated here. Alright, turn signal. Try the traffic signal for the turn lane is done, so I knew it was going to turn green soon, so I'm like, I'm not going to stop all the way. I'll at least benefit a bit from the rolling. But yeah, now we're at 8, where I was hoping to be there, but still telling me about 15 minutes, and again, we may end up taking that detour to discover the
And then turn left.
the whatchamacallit. Oh, I was going to go by him. I did not realize he was going this way, so that was
Turn left.
interesting. So, Yellow Freight, I believe these guys are bankrupt and out of business at this point. They were the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. I think it put like 30,000 people out of work all at once. So we got a relic in front of us. Doesn't exist anymore. You know, maybe someone will resurrect it or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it wasn't a bankruptcy that, you know, where they continued operations. You know, at least, I mean, they may in some small form, but the little bit I read on it, I don't think that's the case. I think they are gone. And I think the challenge was that they were kind of a low-cost carrier, so they were, you know, kind of, they didn't have a lot of margin, and so as freight, we're kind of in a freight recession here in the U.S. right now, and as work dried up, they just didn't have a lot of ways to weather through it. And obviously, you know, all trucking companies just dealt with the pandemic and that challenge, and I think, you know, that probably anything they had in a war chest to survive bad times, they probably used to get through the pandemic, and probably needed a decade or so to build things back up again, and didn't get that. So it's kind of the realities of the market. I was going to say the evils of the market, but it's not, you know, it's supply and demand and business and how it works, and there's always consequences of making a choice of, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Alright, let's see, now that I'm here. Alright, so yeah, so I'm going to want to basically go down here, go through, so we'll turn right, and then we'll immediately turn right. And that will let me discover whoever that is, and hopefully it's not a Peterbilt and a Kenworth. I think if it was a Kenworth, it would show up on the map. like it did. It's the other carriers that don't, but for whatever reason the Kenworth one doesn't stay hidden, which is kind of interesting. But Freightliner's one of my favorites. I've gotten to, I've done some Western Star. I've driven them all, I'm sure, at this point in the time I've spent in the game, but it's just one of those, like, if I'm going to be looking at an instrument panel for 484,000 miles like we would have if this was our truck, I'd like something that I like, although, I'm not looking at the instrument panel that often, honestly, but it's just one of those things. So, of course, as always, we're just got time going on as we wait for lights and so forth, so definitely give me feedback if you're feeling these episodes are getting too long going at 400 miles. I can certainly target shorter runs. Obviously that will have a corresponding impact where we're not going to make $27,000 on a smaller run like that, unless I'm doing a special transport, which is also going to take a long time. So, but if you're just okay, and however long it turns out, I don't have a timer running with me or anything, but this is starting to feel like it's more than a half hour for sure, especially with the detour we had to take and all that. And of course, as is normal, I've driven enough around the country and on interstates, and this is kind of normal, where you kind of get stuck at every light as you're just going underneath the interstate, and so it takes you 5 minutes to get through a couple hundred yards of road. But
right, and then turn right.
All right. Because we probably could have had most of this discovered if I had been paying attention earlier, but in the beginning it was just a lot of trying to keep moving. But it is what it is.
Go straight.
So it will be shorter to go straight, but alright, so I can see the sign. It's a Volvo sign. So they're not a bad. They're growing on me as a manufacturer. I've seen more of them on the road lately too. So they're not bad, but it'll give me those options where I can try things out, and because it might be fun to do something different. All right, discover it, please. Did it really not? I can't believe that. Did I have to, like, turn on the road or something? Alright, well, I am going to decouple, and I am going to go discover this, because that's kind of the point here.
Turn right.
Oops. Well, that doesn't help. I didn't see any damage come up, so I guess I'm okay. I'm sure these people are thrilled.
You have arrived at your destination.
But I can't believe driving by, it didn't give it to me, that it's going to require that I turn in here. Because, yeah, that would have been a pain, but I guess this is the entrance here. Yeah. Alright, well, it gets me that. But now we have a Volvo dealer. And I think, if I remember, I think there's 7 makes in the game. So, again, we're not running any mods. I've done stuff before where, it'll change, put a new manufacturer in. I forget what it was, but it was like a Russian one or something, if I remember correctly, or maybe that was in Euro Truck, I don't know. But I know there was something that it like replaced the carriers. I thought it was like Kraz or something. It was something like that went in there. Come on. So connect back up. Alright, and there we've got the refinery, as I figured we'd be going to. So this should have been smoother. I mean, I should have just been able to drive by, discover it, so I am surprised it didn't give it to me there. But, oh well. So, hopefully you understand why it took longer, so hopefully you won't hold it against me. But as I said, you know, if I'm doing things like this and you're like, yeah, if you're going to have to make detours to find dealerships and such, please take shorter routes. Yeah, let me know. I want to kind of provide people with what they're interested in. Alright, so interesting. So I got to park there. Do I want to like back in? Because I don't know that I can get, I think I can get by there. Because I'm thinking what I can do is do this. And then kind of back in. Or maybe come in. You know what, I think I'm going to do it this way. And then I won't have a blind side. Because if I go this way now, then I'll be able to just kind of back in normally. So let's see. Ooh. Well, that's not good. Let me pull it up. Now I definitely am going to have a bit of a challenge here. Well, this is going to make life interesting, so maybe this is not the smartest thing in the world here. We're going to try. But yeah, I'm wondering if these barriers are kind of intentionally put there to make this really difficult. But, I mean, the other side of it is, though, otherwise I got to pull toward the front, the other side of the building, and then it's like a blind side, super sharp movement. Alright, let's see. Looks like we'll be okay, unless I don't have enough room here. I should be alright near the fence. So I don't want to go too fast. I know I've had actual truck drivers comment that you just kind of want to let it coast back at idle speed. You don't want to put more gas on it and try to rush it, because that, you know, this way is the cleanest way to get yourself the best parking that you can. I may have gone too far, but maybe not. Looks like it might be rotating in where I need it. This is a long trailer. Yeah, that's too close to the wall, I think. I just don't know how much I'm going to be able to move here. But let me do that. Alright, and I want to go... We'll just go as sharp as we can. I just don't know that this is going to be any better than I was, so... But I suppose if it takes it and lets me go, I just am worried I'm going to hit the... Yeah, I'm hitting the building. Well, we'll try it this way, and then we'll go back. I just don't know if it's going to give me it's going to take it that I've pulled in. I mean, I'm turning it a little bit back toward the doorway, so I think I'll be okay, but we'll see if it lets me park. Alright, awesome. So let's see how we did. 418 miles, that made it a little bit longer. At level 8, 1000 XP. Gets us to level 9 enthusiast. So that is always a good thing. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the toxic and infectious substances, just because they sound like a lot more fun. But you know, we're at 146,000 now, so that's good. I think we're still within the first week of our company, which is why I'm seeing that profit in 7 days, but because we started on a Monday, so I'm just not sure where we've gotten to, but again, hopefully enjoying the time here. If you haven't dropped a like, please do so. And if you're not a subscriber, please do that as well. Getting really close to that 1,000 subscriber mark and love to cross over that threshold. So I will see you next time.